Hey guys, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Shayla. I'm a professional dancer in Las Vegas, Nevada. Today, I wanted to share with you some things that I didn't know before I became a professional dancer. I've been dancing professionally for about 5 years now. I've done 3 residency shows in Vegas, year-long contracts, and I have also worked for Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines. So I've kind of seen a couple different sides of things. I'm just going to share with you some things that I've learned over the past few years that might help you if you're an aspiring dancer, performer, or just interested in that life. And as always, if you have your own questions that I'm not answering here, or you want me to elaborate on something, leave it in the comments below. I will do my best to respond. So let's get into it. Number 1. I did not realize that it is completely normal to not keep a job over a year. In fact, in some parts of the industry, it's actually not possible to keep a job over a year. I'm speaking from personal experience, and I have only performed in production shows where you sign a contract for 6 months to a year, and then you're done. And I'm not saying that you can't re-sign a contract, it depends where you are. But when I worked for Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines, for example, I did 11 months on my ship, and then you can't just stay on the ship because you want to. They already have a cast coming in to replace you, because that's just how it works for them. So some places you genuinely cannot keep a job over a year. And in the jobs that you can re-sign and stay over a year, it's not frowned upon if you leave. Most performers will do a contract, get that experience, and then want to move on to the next experience. And that's totally normal. Very weird if you're not in this industry. I understand that. Why can't you hold a job? But it's not that you can't hold a job. It's that you have multiple jobs waiting for you, and the world is so big and you can do whatever you want, and cool performance opportunities come up, and if you have a good relationship with the companies you work with, you can always go back if they like you. So that's number 1. I think the most shocking thing to me when I first started in this industry. Number 2. Number 2 is that you can actually have multiple different agencies that you're signed to, or you don't need one at all. It definitely depends where you're located and where you're trying to pursue your career, but in Vegas specifically, you can actually have more than one agency that you're signed to. I forget the exact logic and reasoning behind it, but there are different agencies for different things here, so you're allowed to kind of sign to a lot, and they can all book you work because there is some rule here. I want to say it's because we're in a right-to-work state, but I don't think that's what it is. But there is some sort of rule here that you can sign to as many agencies as you want as long as you don't sign an exclusive contract with them, which is pretty cool because in most places you can only have one agent, which is kind of typically what is spoken about when you learn about this stuff in like conventions or just in life. You learn about you sign to your agent, and you can do that, but you don't have to if you sign to all local agents, I believe. But piggybacking on that, you also don't need an agent at all. You don't need an agent at all. Most production shows in Vegas are independently owned and operated, so they have their own auditions, it's in person, they don't care about your agency status, they just want to see what you look like, what your talent level is, if you're gonna work in their show or not. So in Vegas, I actually don't have a dance agent anymore because I used to, but there was kind of no point. Because I want to work in Vegas and I want to stay in Vegas, the work that my agent was gonna get me, I could get on my own, and there's no need to be paying someone for a job that I could have got myself. So I don't have a dance agent here. 3. Still on the business side of things, I didn't realize how much you can write off on your taxes. While I'm in a production show, I do a lot of 1099 gigs as an independent contractor. So I am my own boss. I have to take care of my hair, my makeup, my nails, my body. You can write off a lot as a dancer because I need to pay for makeup, that's a part of the job. I need my hair to be done, that's a part of the job. I need my hair to be healthy, that's a part of the job. I need my nails done, it's a part of my upkeep for the look. Do you like that this finger's missing? Boom, here it is again. I can write off my gym membership. I can write off my Spotify membership. I need to practice, I need to dance. I can write off any of my workout clothes because obviously I'm a dancer. I need to train in something, and I can't do that in normal clothes. You can write off a lot of things, and especially because I was young when I got into the industry, taxes were new to me. So then, of course, this was new to me, but it's a weird thing compared to a normal job or a normal W-2. There's less that you can write off if you're solely in one production show when you don't gig, but if you're a 1099 worker as well, as I kind of take you guys along once in a while on like little gigs that I'll do during the day before I go to my production show at night where I'm paid as an employee, it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool that you can write off all these little things for doing a little modeling gig or a little showgirl gig, a little go-go gig. It's a cool little perk, I guess. to being a dancer. Number 4. Don't get me wrong, I love seeing dance portrayed in the media. However, the representation that we get is not very positive. Growing up watching like burlesque or showgirls or even like dance moms, it's all chaos and everyone's mean to each other, and what it shows in your like backstage life is like cat fights and girls hating each other, and they're all competing for the top spot and they're all like up in arms because they want the lead track tonight. It's just not how it is in real life. At least for me. I have been very blessed that I have not had a mean cast ever. Every single one of my casts has always gotten along. We're all friends, we all laugh. Backstage is literally us giggling and being like, hee hee hee, like, I'm doing my makeup today, what's going on with your life? Ooh, what'd they do with that? Just gossiping and being friends. It's not at all catty, and I know that is what showgirls or professional dancers are portrayed to be. I've just never experienced that in my own life, so I really was genuinely impressed that the dressing rooms aren't all fighting, just that chaos that we're portrayed as in the media. So that was surprising to me that everyone gets along, because we do. It's not just something that people say now, like, no, we get along, we get along. Like, we all actually get along. It's crazy. 5. Sticking to dressing room talk. One of the things I just didn't realize when I moved here is that you're never going to be able to tell anyone's age. I have fully worked with people, spent almost every day of my life with some people. But then after about a year of working with them, we're celebrating their birthday, and I'm like, oh, like, how old are you? Like 28? And they're like, no? I'm like, what do you mean? What are you, 30? You turned 30? And they're like, 15 years ago, yeah, maybe. And I was like, I think because everyone takes such good care of themselves and like really takes care of their looks as a performer, you can't tell how old people are. It's such a mindfuck, because like, what do you mean you could be my mom? I didn't know that. Or on the same note, you'll be working a gig with someone and you're like, oh yeah, you're like 25, and they're like, no, I'm 18, this is my first gig, and you're like, oh, okay. Really weird. You actually never really know someone's age unless you're like straight up asking them. You can never tell. Everyone looks good together. 6. Before I became a performer, I didn't know how to do my eyeliner. I don't know if that's a big surprise, because I feel like we all struggle with eyeliner just like as a whole in general in life, because eyeliner's not easy. But now I do my eyeliner so quickly every single day. I remember when I first started and I had to do my eyeliner and my big lash. I looked crazy. I didn't know how to do it. It was like a weird line, and then it was like kind of like a weird thing with like a ball at the end. Lots of tips and tricks on how to do it. I'm not saying there's one right way to do it, but it's definitely evolved having to do eyeliner every single day of my life. With that being said, eyeliner for eyelashes completely different than just regular eyeliner without lashes. Who would have thought? Not me. Not me. And of course I've put on eyelashes before, but I didn't know the tips and tricks to make your eyes look bigger. Because if you do your eyeliner thicker in this corner here, you can actually take your lash, and instead of gluing it to your lash line down, you take it and you glue it here, and then it pulls up with your eyeliner, and then your eyes just get a little bit bigger. It's an illusion. But I never knew that. How was I supposed to know that? If you understood what I just said, now you know that. You're welcome. 7. I don't really know why I assumed the opposite, but I never realized how much more I would be eating. Of course, there's that stereotype of like dancers don't eat or dancers starve themselves. Unhealthy things that people project onto dancers that just not true. But I'm not gonna say as a young kid I didn't believe them. Of course I did. Like, oh, if you're gonna be a dancer, you need to be fit and skinny and blah blah blah. They don't tell you that that's actually not sustainable in any way, shape, or form. I eat more now than I ever have in my entire life, and I look great. If I'm performing on stage 6 nights a week, I need to fuel my body, because that's a lot of wear and tear. I need my muscles to be able to repair themselves. I need to eat so much protein. I ate a 20-ounce steak last night for dinner, no problem, didn't even think twice about it. I had people doubting me. Don't doubt my eating ability. And I'm not just talking like, oh, I eat so many healthy foods and whole foods, and everything's good, and I eat so perfectly healthy. I don't. I'm never gonna lie to you and say I do. I try sometimes. I meal prep. That doesn't mean in between my meal prep I'm not going to get an ice cream. That doesn't mean I'm not at Sonic after work getting mozzarella sticks. I'm hungry. I'm eating. I just never would have guessed how much I eat. I do my best to eat healthy and take care of my body, but one thing about me is I'm never gonna restrict my body, because that's just not gonna benefit me in any way, shape, or form. Not gonna benefit my dancing, my tumbling, my career in general, my looks. I like to eat, so never would have guessed how much I eat. 8. That was funny, and 8 should have been the last one. That would have worked better. I didn't think of that. I didn't think of that. 8, and then I could have been like, I eat so much. Whatever. Number 8. I actually didn't know how to do my hair before I started dancing professionally, and I'm not gonna lie to you and say that as soon as I became a professional, as in my first show, my hair started looking great. I actually think it was this year. I actually think this year I learned how to do my hair. Performing in fantasy every night, we have to have our hair big and like voluminous and blowouts and beautiful because we're fantasies. Whereas other shows, like, your hair was down, but like it wasn't that heavily enforced to be like have beautiful hair. But at Fantasy Every Night, we're very much encouraged to have volume and to, you know, be a fantasy. I didn't know how to do my hair. I think I'm just recently getting the hang of it. Kind of not great that I've probably gone about 4 years of my professional career not knowing how to do my hair and not knowing the difference between like a blowout and like curls like I'm going to celebrate my birthday in 4th grade. I don't know. But obviously the way you do your hair really makes a difference in the way you're perceived on stage. So I hope now I'm perceived a little bit better than before. Before I would really just like straighten my hair and be flat to my head. I didn't care. It was whatever. I was dancing. Watch me dance. Don't watch my hair. But your image is really important. So recently I've taken it under control and I got a Dyson and I do a blowout pretty much every single night, and my hair bounces and it curls and it waves, but it's not crunchy curls that are just flat down and then they start curling, or just like flat hair. Even though I do love my flat hair and I wear my hair pretty much like this every single day. But when I'm on stage, I want to blow out. I want to feel like a Victoria's Secret angel. And I think this year, I'm not even gonna lie and say my whole career, this year I've gotten so much better at doing my hair. 9. This one's not as fun, but sometimes as a performer, your friends disappear. And I don't mean that in some like deep metaphorical way. I mean, you make friends with someone, your best friends, you go to class together all the time, you're training or auditioning with this person, and then they book a job. And the job's not in the town that you're auditioning in. And then you never see them. And then your friendship only remains on Instagram. Kind of scary. It's like a horror movie. You make friends, you love them, you're like, ah, and then they're like, I got a cruise ship, I'm gone for a year, I'll be back though. They just disappear. Or completely other way around. Say now that friend got on the cruise ship, they just made so many friends, you make so many good friends, and oh my god, your life is so good, you spend every day with them, you have so many life experience with them, you've traveled new countries, you've done all this great things with them, you've tried new foods, you've met new people, oh my god, you love them. Now your contract's over. You really gotta make an effort to see those friends, because you're not going to. After that contract, you're probably not getting booked on the same contract again. It's possible, but it's not usually a right away kind of thing. Personally, happened to me. I went on my cruise ship contract. I had the time of my life. I made so many good friends, and I don't get to see them. We talk all the time. We text all the time. We send voice memos. I've traveled to visit. They've traveled to visit me, but that doesn't get to happen all the time. I actually did vlog my little trip to go see my friend Ocean, so if you want to go watch those, they're back there in my little Escaping Vegas playlist. I had to travel out of the country to go see her. She's traveled out of the country to come see me. I have some friends who have come to visit. Like, you don't get to see them. Your friends kind of just disappear. Whether you're the friend that left for the cruise, whether you're the friend who's leaving the cruise. You don't have all your friends all the time. And you gotta really learn how to be a good long distance friend. Answer the phone calls all the time. 10. Growing up as a competition dancer, I was really taught to conform. You want to fit in the group, you want everyone to look good and look uniform, be on the same level, everyone needs the same tricks, everyone needs the same costume, we're all gonna be very uniform. Becoming a professional dancer, you kind of have to drop all of that because you need to stand out. If you look just like every other girl in this audition room, the odds that you get booked, not that great. If you dance just like every other girl in the audition room, not that great. But if you can make yourself stand out, whether that be your appearance, whether that be your dancing, you change your textures, you're really figuring out who you are as a dancer, or even if you have special skills, they make you stand out and they get you hired. There are a lot of people that know me in Vegas as, oh, that girl who tumbles. Because that's not really something that a lot of girls here do. I'm tall, I'm a showgirl. I'm not really the tumbling type, but I tumble really well and I do a lot of tricks, and people know me for that because I've made myself stand out in that regard. And I think that's kind of cool. Hey, I'll be the tumbling girl. At least you know who I am, right? You gotta make yourself stand out while also fitting in the parameters of what the job's looking for. So you just gotta learn how to do that. But that is something I didn't realize, how important it is to not be like the group. Because I feel like as young dancers, you just want to be like the group. But forget it. I was gonna be done with 10, but for you, 11. Because this is probably the most important thing that I've learned being a professional dancer, is that you're never going to feel fulfilled. There's always more you could do, there's always something you can strive for, there's always something better. But with that, you have to remember to be so thankful for where you are, and you have to appreciate every moment. Because you're not gonna book a job one day and be like, this is it, I made it, I'm done. That just doesn't happen. You're gonna be like, I can't believe I made this is exciting. And the next day you're like, so what's my next move? Because if I'm already doing this is really exciting. What's better than this that I can one-up myself? It's not the healthiest, but it's definitely what happens. And I think it's really important to remember to enjoy everywhere that you have the privilege of being, because you've worked hard for it. So just remembering that all of your hard work has paid off, and even if it hasn't yet and you haven't booked a job, it will. You have to keep pushing, and even once you get that job, your first job that you're so excited because you just booked it, you're not gonna feel so fulfilled over it because you can keep going, and what's your next job gonna be? So remember to stop and smell the roses. I'll leave you with that one. If you're a dancer yourself and you want to leave in the comments something that I didn't mention that you were kind of shocked to hear about or to experience when you first started, let me know. If you are not a dancer and you just have some questions, or if you're a young dancer and you want some questions answered, leave them in the comments below. I will do my best to answer them. Maybe I'll actually make an updated Q&A video, so if you have questions, leave them below, or feel free to DM me at my Instagram, Shayla Boyajian. Make sure to like this video, comment your questions, and subscribe for more. I will see you next Sunday. Mwah.